Okay, fifth graders, here we go, 7-10. I've got a new setup here on a new Chromebook, and I've been working out some bugs, but I think we can do this. So, 7-10, what page is this? Page 306. And we're subtracting mixed numbers, and we talked about that yesterday. And they give us an example here, step 1, 2, and 3. And the question is, it says a golf ball measures 1 2/3 inches across the center. What is the difference between the distance across the center of the hole and the golf ball? So the hole is 4 1/4 inches. The golf ball is 1 2/3 inches. And so you're going to have to subtract. And that's what they do here in step 1 and step 2 and step 3. You would simply write 4 1/4, and you're subtracting 1 2/3. You need a common denominator. We've talked about this a lot the last several days. It would be 12. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Now, here's the problem. You can't subtract 8 from 3. That's not going to work. So you're going to have to borrow. So we're going to borrow from the 4. The 4 becomes a 3. What's the common denominator we're using? It's 12. So we're going to add 12 to the top. We're going to add 12 to the numerator. So now this becomes 15 over 12, and we're subtracting 8 over 12. Now we can do it. 8 from 15, that's going to be 7/12. 1 from 3 is going to be 2. 2 and 7/12, which is what they come up with in step 3. Let's go down a little bit further here. I'm going kind of quickly because I'm almost going to run out of time here. Class is going to start pretty soon. So let's see here. The convince me, it says estimate 8 1/3 subtracting 3 3/4. So if we're estimating, it doesn't have to be exact. We're not looking for something that's precise in its answer. But 8 1/3, well, how would we divide a line up into thirds? Well, there's going to be 3 parts. Each one of these would equal 1/3. Okay? So 1/3 on a line would be, right about here. If we had another line and we were dividing that up into quarters, it would look something more like this. Each one of these sections would be a quarter. Probably spending more time on this convinced me than I should, but I wanted to give you guys a visual example. Each one of these sections would be a quarter. So all that to say, 1/3, that's, I don't know, it's kind of close to 1/4. And so since we're estimating, that's what I would do. And so you could look at it as 8 1/4 subtracting 3 3/4. That'd be one way to estimate. And since, we're using quarters, we already have the same denominator. And we just have to borrow from the 8. That becomes 7. We're going to add 4 to the top. So this becomes 5/4. Subtracting 3/4. 3 from 5 is 2/4, which is the same thing as 1/2, right? And 3 from 7, it's going to be 4. So I think a reasonable answer would be 4 1/2. All right, I went through that one pretty quick, but anyways. Then they give us another example a little further down here. Sometimes you have to rename a whole number to subtract. Well, that's when we're borrowing. So we borrow from the 6, and it becomes 5, and then we have an 8 over 8 to subtract the 3/8 from. Okay. Number 1 here, do you understand? It says in the example above, why do you need to rename the 6? So we can subtract the fractions. Okay. Number 2, in the example on page 306, could the 2 golf balls fall into the hole at the same time? Well, what's the size of the golf balls? They were 1 2/3. So you're going to have to add 1 2/3 plus 1 2/3. And then you're going to see what size they are. And you're going to see if they're bigger than the hole, the golf ball hole. That was 4 and, what was it, 1/4? Yeah, 4 1/4 inches. Okay. Let's see here. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to go ahead and just fill out the these little squares for you. Let's see here. This is going to be 4 and 10, 5 and 5, 4 and 4. Let's see here. We could do number 5. Let's look at number 5 here. This is what I'm looking at. So 6 and 3/10, and we're subtracting 1 and 4/5. What's the common denominator we would use? I think 10 would work. 10 goes into 10 once, and 1 times 3 is 3. So that stays the same. You guys should know that by now. 5 goes into 10 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. Can we subtract 8 from 3? Nope, we've got to borrow. So the 6 becomes a 5. What do we add to the numerator? We add 10, remember? Because if we borrowed 1, 1 is the same thing, in this case, as 10 over 10. So we're going to add the numerator, which is 10, to the top. So now this becomes 13 over 10, subtracting 8 over 10. That we can do. 8 from 13, that's going to be 5, 5/10. What's 5/10 the same as? 1/2. Now we just subtract the 1 from the 5. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Where'd I go here? Undo. Now we just subtract the 1 from the 5, which is 4. So the answer is 4 and 1/2. 4 and 1/2. Okay. You guys should be able to do the rest of these on your own. Oh, I see some more of those boxes that I don't care for. You guys probably don't mind it because I just fill them out for you. This one is going to be 2 and 10. And this is 7 and 7. And then number 8, it's 3 and 2. Looking to see if there's any that could be really hard. Let's look at number 18 just for a moment. I want to make sure this is still recording here. Yep, no, it's still recording. I'm looking at number 18. 18 is 10 and 5/12. And we're subtracting 4 and 7/8.